All right, just watched the TED Talk with Sherry Turkle, and then after reviewing some of the other responses that I saw online, I was kind of surprised that she's gotten a pretty bad rap from a lot of other people. I saw it as something I agree with a lot, and that she was actually calling me out on the multitude of things that I do myself, texting at the dinner table, basically being buried at my phone at the dinner table or out with friends. We both have our phones out. We're checking whatever, Facebook, stock quotes, sports scores, you name it. We could be literally be 2 feet away from each other and just have our phones up in front of our faces for a few minutes, if not longer, after we've ordered or we're waiting for drinks to come. And instead of actually initiating a conversation, we're just happy and fine looking at our own thing. I don't think it's a bad thing necessarily. I think that's just the way things have changed recently. And I think Sherry Turkle was just trying to explain how digital devices are affecting our communication and relationships. I'm not sure she's being overly negative, other than just pointing it out that some of these things are changing the way we are communicating. Um, just the real-time editing of our conversations, like she pointed out, I think that's a huge part of it. Being able to edit what you say, what you want to say, is a lot easier, a lot more convenient than even for doing a video like this. You can't really edit on the fly as much unless you want to do several retakes. Um, being someone an older guy right now, I'm seeing a lot of changes with kids nowadays. I think I read another study that Turkle was doing, and some of the kids that she interviewed are up to 10,000 texts per month. Regardless of how you feel, texts are creating meaningful relationships. I mean, those that it takes a lot of time to do 10,000 texts a month. Basically, you're never not texting. So there is little time for, I think, for other conversations, unfortunately, and that is taking the place of conversation. Whether or not you can argue on one side or the other, whether or not these conversations are meaningful, if they're missing out on something that this real world face-to-face communication can provide, that's up for debate. I myself personally, I enjoy texting people rather than calling them on the phone. I like email other than speaking to someone face to face. Same thing with at work. Professional personal relationship, I would rather do it via email than face to face. A lot of times, I think it's just easier for both people. Everybody's multitasking nowadays, and in all honesty, there's less time for face to face communication. If if the meaning is not really there, if you're just trying to get something done, there's really no meaning behind your conversation. You're just trying to get something accomplished. It is easier to do it via various methods of digital communication. Sacrificing conversation for connection. And again, debatable. I myself personally think that she is a little on the side of creating a little bit of a moral panic, as others have said. But all in all, I think she was right to point out a lot of the differences. And over time, I think the older you are, also you've seen a lot of changes in the way things have been progressing. So as long as you keep that in mind, I think she's just trying to make us more informed.